All right, y'all, we're live. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate Moseder, and this is my friend Isabel. So today we're going to talk about postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, and all things mom mental health. I'm a first-time mom. I have a 5-month-old named Van, which a lot of you guys already know. And then Izzy can go ahead and share her kid.
Yeah, I have two daughters. Emerson will be 2 in May, and Tatum just turned 4 months.
So, we in the thick of it, okay? Like the hardest parts are like right now. And
Yeah.
no, that's just my experience. So no smoke.
Give it time, baby. Give it time.
I know that all the stages are hard, but I feel like that first time mom transitioning from being like it's all about me to being like, okay, now I have to take care of this child. You're like a little bit of like a whiplash, I guess you could say. So,
Yeah.
what's your experience with going from 1 to 2?
It honestly, I feel like I got pretty lucky because Tatum is she's been a really good baby. She's so chill. They're complete opposite. Like everybody always wants to warn you, like, oh, watch out for that second child. But like, no, that's my first child. She's the wild one. The second one is chill, which worked out perfect. Cause the toddler, like after you have a second baby, they still take up so much of your time and attention. Like sometimes I sit back and I'll be like, I don't even know if I know Tatum that well. She's like 5 months, and I'm like, girl, I feel like I don't know you. Let's talk. Let's
She
chat.
really is. She just be laying there.
Yeah, she really does. She just lays there, looks around. I'm like, ugh.
But that first one, see, that's what Van does. I think he's a good baby, but I still struggle a lot. And so I feel like I'm struggling mostly with postpartum anxiety, where I feel like you've expressed and shared that you're struggling more with postpartum depression. And I someone that has like a little bit of a mental health background like myself, I kind of like know what things to look for as far as like, oh, am I, is this postpartum depression like trying to sneak its way into my life or whatever. So I was like looking for it, and I have been depressed before in my life. So I realized like, okay, this is not something that I'm experiencing. I think I'm pretty lucky. But something that I did notice was I am very anxious all the time. And not just anxious in like the cute, like, I have anxiety, I drink too much coffee. Like, no, this is like crippling and debilitating. And it honestly feels like it's like ruining my day sometimes. Like, I can't go places without feeling like something bad is going to happen to, usually it's about my kid, because that's the thing that, just bombarded itself into my life. And literally now I would like die for. But I feel like that anxiety piece is just like, even right now, like I'm talking about it, but I have not mastered it. Like I'll share my experience, like, because I traveled this week. So I opened a whole new can of anxieties traveling by myself. But like
She said,
literally,
let's just add some more onto this.
like I was like, I can't do this. I literally cannot do this. So yeah, but we have a couple people checking in. Hey Kershay, hey girl. And then we got hey Nikki and Kate and Isabel. Nick ain't in this. He's just a moderator. Don't give him no attention.
Don't give him. Y'all need to stop giving him credit, okay? He's gonna
Seriously.
pop in
So anyway.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the thing how I was saying, like as soon as you become a mom, like as soon as you become pregnant sometimes, like the anxieties hit you. Like I remember, because I did experience like a miscarriage. I remember when I got pregnant with Emerson, like the anxiety of that I was gonna like miscarry this baby, that I was gonna go to the bathroom and like see blood. I was like, it was just a lot. And then of course as soon as she's here, you want to make sure she's breathing all the time. And they get a little, you know how sometimes the newborns still got stuff in their throat, they like start choking, and you're like, oh my god, oh my god. It never goes away. And now with the toddlers and they're eating food, now I'm like, I hear she makes like a random noise as she's eating, and I'm like, she's choking. It's just never ending. There's anxieties that just don't ever go away.
I feel like you really touched on something, because I personally have not experienced, also trigger warning, I forgot to say that, but
Oh
if
yeah,
any
right.
of this is sensitive, you're sensitive.
Trigger warning.
We're gonna talk about all of it. So, you kind of touched on the miscarriage thing because I haven't experienced that, but I could imagine like having gone through something like that, no matter what point, and then having that experience again, like that's lingering there. So how do you keep going, like in a positive way, without having that fear or doubt in the back of your mind? Like even for me, like I said, I didn't have one, but it was almost surreal. Like, oh my God, I'm really like 9 months pregnant and everything's like good. Everything's like, it almost seemed too
Yeah.
good to be true. And
Yeah.
I feel like, again, that is like maybe a normal level of anxiety that moms have, but the kind that is crippling, or the kind that it takes the joy out of your life, is the one that, where I feel like that's not glamorous, or that's not talked about enough,
Right.
or something
Right.
like that,
Right. Like I know, I feel like I don't know. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's like one, like I know for me, I don't know, with Emerson, I never had like the big anxieties of like scared to leave the house and whatever it is. But after having Tatum, I'm like, I'm scared to go anywhere because I think somebody's gonna snatch my baby up. And I know that that's not like an unrealistic fear. Like I know it's, especially in today's world, like it's very
Mhm.
possible.
Mhm.
But it comes to a point where it's like, it's kind of unhealthy. Like you need to get out of the house. You need to take your kids out and do stuff, And like I don't go anywhere unless I'm meeting somebody or somebody's coming with me, but I'm like I don't know. I also think I'm an easy target too, and maybe that's just something that I've put in my head cuz I'll be by myself. I have two young kids. Emerson is not at the age where I can tell her about stranger danger and if somebody grabs you, what to do and all the things. So I have two young kids that are very, Emerson probably easier because she's not in a whole car seat. Like Tatum, she's in the carrier still. But yeah, it's like that just freaks me out. And don't ask me to go to Walmart because I ain't going because shit always goes down at fucking Walmart. Okay. Every
Really.
time. Everything you see on Facebook is about a Walmart parking lot, and you won't catch me there. You
I
ain't gonna
honestly
catch me
feel
at
like
Walmart.
you're right, because every like thing you've seen like shared on Facebook, like share this man was following me to my car. It is always
Yeah.
in our parking lot, and it's always in like your area. Like it doesn't happen to where I'm from.
Yes.
I don't see
Yeah.
that, but I feel like what you're saying, like, oh, my kid's gonna get like snatched or something. Like the chances of that happening are really slim. It's almost an irrational fear, but it does happen. Like there's always that
Exactly.
small percentage. And
Right.
like, so, traveling this weekend, we're taking off. This isn't the first time I've flown with Van. And I'm literally looking at his face, like waiting, like he's sleeping. And I'm just like looking for something to be wrong. Like there's like a blue
Right.
light. And I'm like, oh my God, can he breathe? Like, is his face turning purple? Like what? His lungs are exploding? Like what is going on in my brain?
Yeah.
That for
Yeah.
some reason I can't just like, my kid is just being good. I can't enjoy the fact that my kid is literally being perfect on an airplane right now. I have to try to
Right.
make something wrong with him, or like that is like the extent that my anxiety goes. So every situation that I'm in, like something wrong. A crazy
Yeah.
story. So my flight was delayed like 1,000 times last night. I traveled for over 18 hours with this baby, and
Mm-mm.
I had this random guy sitting next to me. Like it was a 2-seater plane, not a 3-seater. So it was a pretty small plane. And this is just like a blue collar man. Like he's literally like so tan. He's like brown. He's got like a husky voice. Just like, he's got like those jeans, like those construction guy jeans on, you know what I mean? And he's just sitting there and he's like, yeah, yeah. So anyway, we finally get rerouted to Miami, and he's like, yeah, you know what they do in Miami? I'm like, what? Mind you've already been crying. Like my face is all puffy. Like I just been having a rough day.
You're like, what?
Yes, I'm really like, what? He said, they'd be selling babies on the black market. You can get like two million. I'm like, he said, I would never do that though. I'm like, I know this man did
I'm
not
like,
just
I don't
subtly
know, but
threaten
you
me.
sound you sounding awfully suspicious bringing it up, and I
It's
don't
the fact that he said
think
I
you're
wouldn't do that though. Yes. Why would you say that to someone? literally, I'm thinking
Yeah.
like he doesn't know that I got issues. Like he doesn't know like
Yeah,
postpartum
right.
anxiety got me in its grips. So the fact
Yeah,
that
right.
he's just gonna stress me out like that,
He's
I'm
like, pull out. You would start writing that. You said, "Baby can be snatched."
I should start writing
Like,
them down. That's how crazy. I could just list them off. Like open my
yeah,
paper up. Like what anxiety are we gonna have today? What are we doing today?
yeah,
What's going on?
yeah.
So
Just hand it to people before you talk to them, and it's like a scroll of like all the
those
things
are my
about
trigger warnings. We can't go over
you.
bridges. We don't go on airplanes. We don't go
Yeah,
over 30 miles an hour.
yeah,
Seriously.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
I
like
get the same thing.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, it's just I don't. Sometimes I like will be sitting there chilling, and then I'll have like a thought pop in my head and be like, oh my god, and then like later I think about it, and I'm like, did I really have to do all that? Did I really have to do all that? It was everything's okay. It's
That's
okay.
how I feel about that like airplane thing. Like I'm like, really? Like you really just grabbing at straws here at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's the blue light. You know it's the blue light because you know blue and red make purple. That's why his face looks purple.
Yeah.
Like I'm really I have to break it down. And even though I break it down, I'm still like, there's that chance though. Like
Yeah.
there is that possibility. And you know,
Yeah.
now that I'm talking about the airplanes, like I even had anxiety flying pregnant. Like people do it all the time. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm out there doing something crazy, but I just felt like something bad was going to happen. Like, why do I, like, basically, why does this have me in its grips? Why do I feel like I have to find something wrong? Is it because everything's going so good? Like, can I
Right.
just not enjoy life with my son?
Yeah.
Is that really like the, like, depressing side of it? You know? I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's also because I mean, we're a whole ass mom. Like we're responsible for somebody else. Like that is our baby. And so the fact that like we are not only having to take care of ourselves and protect ourselves, now we have this baby who literally can't do anything. So now it's like all put on your shoulders to make sure that you are like on top of it and paying attention. And so I feel like that's kind of like overwhelming for some people where it's like, oh shit, like I got a whole ass responsibility.
Yeah, I
But
agree with you. And also, look, Michelle just said something. She said, everything could have gone so perfect, but I'll be looking at my son sleeping, think, did I do enough for him today or was I too hard on him? And like, even though my kid is literally 5 months old, I still think that. Like, having to travel 18 plus hours yesterday, I seriously feel like I made the wrong decision because I had a choice. I could go back to my sister's house and wait for the next flight, which is like 2 days later, or
mhm.
I could take this, longer flight, this layover and whatever, not knowing that my layover was literally going to cost me like 10 hours. So I feel like I made the wrong decision and my son literally suffered for it. Like something that I really
In
had no
reality,
control
he was
over.
chilling.
He was
He
happy the whole time. Like he was doing them 15-minute naps, those
yeah.
increments, which really ain't good for me long term, but he was really doing all right. But still,
Yeah.
it's just like, damn, that's a decision that without a kid, it really wouldn't matter. But because
Yeah.
I'm responsible for him, it literally is like I feel bad. Like this kid was like, and I don't know, that little stuff like that
Yeah.
wouldn't have mattered before seriously made me just feel bad about myself.
Right. I feel like also like recently with Tatum, I just had too much on my plate. And I think that's kind of what triggered me into like being like kind of falling into being like depressed and everything is I didn't have time to spend with her. And at the end of the day, I would be like, I didn't lay her on the floor. She was in her swing all day. Like I fed her and then I'd put her back in the swing and have to handle whatever the toddler was doing. And I didn't even have time to like sit with her and talk with her and, teach her how to like roll over and do tummy time. And I'm like, and so that started to make me like feel bad about myself. Like, damn, I should have done more. Like I should have shown her more attention because, and also it's hard because Emerson, I had time to do those things with. You know what I mean? She was the only child. She was my first. I'm a stay at home mom. So I had all the time in the world to do these things. And then you start comparing your first and your second. And like the things like Emerson was rolling over at 4 months. Tatum is 4 months and not rolling over. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's because I didn't put her on the floor. And like Emerson, I put her on the floor all the time. I was always helping her roll over and teaching her. And Tatum, I haven't done that. And like in reality, like she gonna learn how to roll over. It's fine. It's not you. You know, it's her. It's not you. It's her. Like
Your
so
mind is
like
going crazy.
yeah, yeah. But I think it definitely is important to I don't know, like take a step back and whatever is not bringing you joy or that you don't love, cut it off, because that definitely like helped me a lot. Just taking things off of my plate and giving myself more time, even though I'm a stay-at-home mom and like I don't do anything, but I was doing too much and I needed that. I mean, I do, don't get me
Oh, by
started.
the way,
I do shit.
we about to open that can of worms again.
Yeah, they'd be like, see, I told you y'all didn't do nothing.
I think that you brought up a good point, because even like, not just for like, you know, parents of multiples, or even like moms that go back to work or whatever, like wherever whatever the reason, they can't give their undivided attention all day long to their baby, like that little bit of guilt creeps in, like, oh, is it my fault that my baby can't roll over yet? Like, oh, you know, or is it my fault for whatever it is? Because I stay home too with Van still, and I literally, all of my attention goes to this kid, like nothing else. And I think about that, like how hard it would be to have another kid, because Emerson is like, she's young enough where she's independent, but she still needs a lot of like attention. Even if it's just sitting on the couch, like watching her, you know, be her own person, like you still have to attend to her. And you can't divide your attention. Right. It just doesn't work like that. And it's almost like, even when, you know, your husband or your fiance gets home, you are now ready for the time for yourself. So where does that one-on-one attention come from? Or even if you don't have, you know, 2 children and it's just you're coming home from work, like, again, you just got home from work, like you're trying to relax. So where does that one-on-one attention come from? And when do you make time for yourself, and how do you not feel bad about it? But something that I recently just like learned on my own is that making time for myself benefits my family, and it benefits my partner. It literally benefits everybody, including me. There's really no downside to making time for myself. So I really don't know why we still out here fighting for it. I really don't. Like, I just feel like, well, if I have time to fill my own cup, I'm a better partner, and I can create more space. And you know, for Van, like I have more patience for him, like, or going to work, it gives me like that individuality that I crave, even though, you know, because I have been staying home, and that's new for me. Like, I've only been staying home for 5 months, since before I could even work. That's really hard transition that I also feel like people don't talk about. It's going from working to not working at all.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's also like back to like the whole partner thing, like making sure that you have a good partner, because like if I've been staying home for almost like 2 years, like being a stay-at-home mom. Emerson will be 2 soon, and that's I actually probably a little longer than that, because COVID hit and then I left my job right before I had Emerson. So for like a solid 2 years, I've been nothing but a stay-at-home mom. I have done nothing for myself. And it's sad because I always, even before I had Emerson, I told Mark, like, it's very important for me to continue to like take care of myself. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. Like, I need to make sure I'm doing things that make me happy. And then the mom guilt kicks in. And then I'm like, oh, I want to get my nails done. But then it's like, but do you really need to spend money on getting your nails done because your daughter needs new clothes? So then I would always put it off and put it off. Finally, till it got to a point where I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is becoming too much. And I think it's important to have somebody who like supports you as far as like whatever it is that makes you happy. Like Mark, my thing is like, I like to get my nails done. I want to go get my nails done every 2 weeks and make sure they looking good. Okay. And he's all for that. He's always been all for that. Like, no questions asked. Like, yeah, sure. Go. It's fine. It's good. And I think that's really important to have somebody that like, I don't want to say allows you, because I don't like that, but but it's just supportive and been like, yes, go, you deserve it. Go get your nails done, go get your hair done, go shopping, do whatever. I'm not saying like all the time, but that's your business. If you want to go shopping all the time, I love that for you. But my bank account is not set up like that. But still, just like doing things for yourself, and they like let you, and they want you to.
I feel like,
that's like my new thing.
what, nails? Get your nails done. That's your new thing.
Every 2 weeks, I got an appointment tomorrow, girl.
I'm gonna book in advance. I'm gonna book the rest of the month out. I'll be here.
Hold on. No, literally. So for my birthday, somebody got me a massage. So this would be like for this weekend, and then next weekend I have something. So 4 weekends in a row, Mark has like been with the girls while I like go get my massage, go get my nails done.
Oh, you bragging. Some of us out here got spit up on our shirt from 2 days ago. You out here bragging. Just saying.
I'm really on that. I'm on that treat yourself, okay?
I feel like you're right though. A partner, even though like a partner that supports you, but also like almost reminds you like, all right, girl, you got this. You don't forget you got your nails coming up this weekend. Like that supportive, like team member, team mindset, and also helping you find things like maybe getting your nails isn't your thing, but like finding things that do fill your cup. Like mine right now is going to work. Like I really enjoy going to work because I don't get to go that much. So I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. And then I'm going again next weekend. And like that's in a row. I don't usually do that, but it's just like something that I enjoy doing. So my husband, he makes sure that he has it, carved out in his schedule, because usually my boss will text me and be like, can you come in like tomorrow? And, we as a team trying to make that work because it's something that fills my cup in many different ways. But I also feel like, while we're talking about postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, and other mental health things that deal with postpartum, these are the things that like will help you cope with them. Like you can't make them go away. I'm sorry to break it to you. You can get on whatever medicine you want. It's not going to make it go away completely. You can meditate all you want, work out all you want. It's going to be there. Like we just need to face the reality of it being there, but we don't have to allow it to like hold grip of our lives. Like what we're talking about, how like I literally feel like I can't go anywhere, or I can't get out of bed. I can't, do anything for myself because I don't deserve it. That whole woe is me. I'm a stay-at-home mom, pity party, or I'm a working mom pity party, because we all have the sob stories, and we could all sit here all day and, whose life is more boring, or like, you know what I mean, less eventful or something like that. But really it's more like, what can I add to my life? Not add to my plate, add to my life that is going to enhance my life and make me that, why we're talking about it, better mom or a better partner. Mm-hmm. And getting your nails done is like something that's like so small, and it really takes an hour, 2 hours, if that. Like it's not adding to your plate. And if that's something that seems like it's adding to your plate, then don't do it. That's not the thing for you. Or like someone like me saying that I'm going to work, like someone might be like, that ain't it. That ain't it for me.
Yeah.
Work.
But I like that though, because another thing too is you get to go to work and have adult conversations. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is something that also gives me anxiety, because what you want to talk about? I can talk about how my daughter pooped on the potty. You want to talk about that? Because I have nothing to contribute to the conversation, okay, besides my kids. I don't know how to have an adult conversation sometimes, because I don't know. I just stay at home with a toddler. I talk to a toddler all day. Like I'm wiping boogers and butts. I don't know. And that gives me anxiety to go out and have like an adult conversation, run into somebody and like, oh, how are you? And I'm like, you don't want to know. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk about it.
Honestly. Are we lying?
Glad you asked. And I start going on.
I've been dying to get it off my chest. I mean, that's true. I think because you've been staying home for so long, you probably have lost yourself in the sauce. for me, it's
Yeah.
5 months. I'm still gripping onto the edges like I'm single or something. Like
Yeah.
I'm still out here. I'm still cool. I can go to birthday
Yeah.
dinners, like I'm,
Yeah.
breastfeeding the whole time, but I'm here. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I feel like I have made an effort to reach out and find like-minded people and moms to be friends with, because I felt like I was in between that friend group of like, oh, we getting drunk every night, or like I'm doing, I'm potty training my kid. I gotta go. Like, that friend
Yeah.
group I was struggling in between. And now that I have a kid, I'm just like, I feel the transition, but I feel like more comfortable here, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I have more in common with these people, because motherhood is just like this journey that all of our experiences are very similar, and like they're unique to us, but we all live in this like same life. Like, let's be honest.
Right.
So I feel like it's good to go out and talk about stuff not related to your kids, like I do at
Right.
work. Like, that's exactly what I do. I mean, they ask me about Van and I show them pictures, but other than that, I can just be like, I just am a person that works at Texas Roadhouse. Like, I'm gonna fix you that
Right.
burnt steak. I'm gonna get you that right steak. I'm gonna get you right, girl. I'm not talking about,
Those
Van
rolls and
still
that
can't
butter,
roll over.
bring them
Right,
over.
yeah. Seriously. It's like, it literally sounds so simple, and it really is that simple, but,
Right.
while I'm at work, I'm not thinking about whatever problems I have going on, and I think that,
Right.
honestly, I really do think that has helped me a lot with the anxiety, because I'm in the moment when I'm at work. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
sometimes when you're at home, you're just like harping on yourself about all the things, we talked about earlier that you didn't do, or you should do, or, oh my God, I only had 5 minutes of tummy time this morning.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like
Yeah.
stuff like that. What
And even like
experiences
house chore stuff, like even
through?
trying to keep up on like the house chores. Like at the end of the day, I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's dishes piled up in my sink. I haven't done the dishes
Mhm.
today. The kid has crumbs all over my floor. I need to vacuum. Like even that, and I just like, I don't have the energy. I just, when Mark gets home sometimes, I just want to go lay in bed because I'm like so drained. And I feel bad because I'm like, that's really like my job. Like I'm supposed to keep up on it, but I can't, And so I think also, like, aside from just making sure you're taking care of your kid and doing things for your kid as a stay at home mom, it's also like making sure you're keeping up with the house stuff. And I also feel like sometimes other people can kind of like contribute to you maybe falling into like a depression and stuff because there's people like I've literally been called lazy because I didn't put my laundry away as soon as it came out of the dryer, you know?
Who?
So there's always somebody that thinks that like I'm supposed to, in other people's eyes, I'm supposed to wake up and get myself together, my kids. I'm supposed to have dinner ready for Mark when he gets home. I'm supposed to make his plate for him and serve it to him. Like I'm supposed to do all these things. And if I can't keep up on it and my house is a mess, I'm like, damn, like I am not doing so hot right now. And then that upsets me. And then it's like you just kind of fall into feeling bad and just like, you know.
Yeah, it's a vicious
Oh.
cycle. Even if you do or don't do the dishes, because I'm gonna be 100%. I don't do dishes. It's not my chore.
Yeah, she said, Nick.
It's triggering. Don't even ask my husband about it, because
He gonna
it's
jump
a
into
fight.
his live real quick.
It's a fight that I've been winning for 9 years straight. I don't do dishes. All right, I'm gonna give you this kid. I'm not doing them damn dishes. But besides that, like, even if I did the dishes, so I was like, yeah, did you look in the dishwasher? Yeah, that's right, it's the girl. I'll still find a way to feel bad about myself. And I think feeling bad about myself, or letting myself be depressed, or letting myself feel like just down in the dumps, is a way for me to express, I don't know, like sorrow for myself or something. I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
like, sometimes you just want to feel bad for yourself, like that.
You just need a
Literally,
good
like,
cry set.
yeah, like giving me a reason to feel the emotions that I haven't been able to feel all week because I've been being a mom. Like, you're trying to keep it
Right.
together. you know, that cry with the smile and tears just dropping on your face. And you're like,
literally the tears just
we in this together.
yeah.
Rocking him, just crying on him. That was me on the airplane, but it's fine. He don't remember it. But like I said, even if I do a good job, my mind will still contort that to be like not like you're still not doing it or something. Like I don't know,
Right.
it's just like annoying. It's like I did everything on my to-do list. I even meditated. I took my vitamins. You know, I made breakfast. I did the dishes. That's enough right there. That's
Yeah,
enough. Even if I just did one thing, I kept my kid alive. That's enough.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
where am I? No one made a to-do list for me. Like
Right.
it's not like a book on how to be like the perfect mom or the perfect stay-at-home, like I don't know. There's nothing out there like that. So where are we getting these like parameters
Right.
for what makes us a good person, a good mom? Like where is it? Because
Right.
'cause we got beef. Like who
Yeah.
told moms that this is what you have to do? I
Yeah.
don't get it.
I feel like it's like the expectation of like older generations, and we know how we feel about them older generations. Okay, like we love y'all, but
I'm not putting sugar on my baby's binky.
no, not gonna happen. But I feel like that's what it is. Like back then, that's like which I don't. I think mom still struggled, but it was like I don't know. Maybe people just didn't really give a shit about them, and they weren't speaking up, and they were just kept on going. And here we are saying, "Fuck that! I ain't doing it. Like I'm not doing the dishes."
It's funny that you say that because we was talking about that backstage, like acting like it's trendy now to like be sad as a mom. Like
Yeah.
we've been sad. We have been sad. You just weren't listening.
Yeah, right. You weren't paying attention.
Back then you could just drink your boxed wine and you was just getting through the day, you know?
Yeah.
Now we're like, it's just not working. We're
Now as
like,
moms are speaking up. Like everybody was praising the dad, like, oh, you go to work and support your family, go you. And now us moms are like, no. Because he can't last a day in my shoes, okay? He don't even know where the wipes are.
I have I maybe it's my job, but like I miss working and I would miss my son if I went back to work full time, but it's a different ball game staying home. I always say like you want to switch. You want to switch right now
Oh, you want to do this?
because it's a 24-hour job. Like literally 24 hours a day. Through the night.
Yeah.
Through the night I'm
Yep.
working. I'm clocked in.
Yeah.
So, if you want to switch, let me know. We'll do one of those, you know,
Yeah.
do a weekend pass or something. And, you know, that usually he knows. He usually changes
Yeah.
that a little bit.
Sometimes I like I told Mark, I'm like, my next child, like I want to be the dad. Okay? Like I want to be the dad the next time, okay? Because I just don't know like if he like stresses about the same things that I'm stressed about. Like I don't, you know, I because I feel like that's like my other thing about having like a good partner is Mark knows what my anxieties are. So like every time if he leaves the house and takes Emerson, I always say, like, make sure you keep an eye on her. Make sure you buckle her in. Like, I always like remind him. I know he knows that. Okay. But for me, I have to say it. And he doesn't get mad at me for saying it because he knows that if I don't say it, that I'm going to sit at home and the whole time be like, oh my gosh, I didn't remind him to keep an eye on his child. And like
it's your fault. Like if something happens because you ain't remind him.
Right, exactly. And I know I don't think he's not capable. Like I know he's got it. You know what I mean? But it's just like I need to say something. And with other things, like even if Emerson's eating something, and I'm like, "Are you keeping an eye on her just so she doesn't choke?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's fine. I got her." And I know he has her, but it's just like my anxieties are like I have to remind him to do these things. And I think a good partner isn't going to like lash out at you and like be upset with you by doing that. They're a little bit more understanding of kind of like what you're going through and how you feel about it. So they kind of respect it and just like, I know, I got it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I feel like you brought something good up because a lot of times we don't allow space for ourselves to be anxious or depressed, like, oh, we don't have time for that, or oh, here it goes again. Like we don't create that space for ourselves. So with having a partner or even like a close friend this brings me to 2 points. Having a close partner or a partner that creates that space for you, like gives you that space to be, not having a good day and not take it personal, or having a hard time and know that it really has nothing to do with you. It's just like part of being a mother. And this is why I also feel like having like-minded friends, other moms that you can relate to, not just one or two, like a community of moms that know what you're going through and can create that space for you to just be like, what it's like for me to have these issues breastfeeding. So can I just like vent real quick? Like, can I just have that space so that we can together, get through this? We're not providing solutions for each other. We're literally just creating an environment where I can say my problems, you can say your problems, and then it's gone. Like it's someone,
Right.
it's a place that we can go to, and your partner is absolutely like should be someone that you can do that with, but you also they can't be that for you all the time. And so
Right.
you need other people to kind of fill in the spots that your partner shouldn't be responsible for doing 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just how I feel about that specific thing, because having a supportive partner, I know we're lucky, a lot of people don't
Right.
have that. And I think that can really put you at risk for having postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, because you're just missing, a person, and not even like the load alone, like carrying the load. It's just
Right.
the emotional part, the struggle,
Right.
like no one gets it. Like our partners see us struggling, day after day, like not what we post on social media, stuff like that.
Yeah. I also, it's so sad to me, like, these mom groups, they be wild. Okay. But the amount of women in there that post about their man just like comes home and goes right into the room and plays video games and doesn't help, even after they ask for help, they just like, and I don't want to say divorce, but baby girl.
You attract what you, I don't know. I feel like if you tolerate it, that's if you tolerate it, then you have to expect that it's going to keep happening.
Right.
And
That's the other thing. Yeah.
I think a lot of times the women they're not speaking up. Like they don't know how to communicate. And I know that's like, we don't know how to communicate because you've just let it build up for so long. So every time you try to communicate, it's just like yelling, you're emotional, it doesn't come out right. And
Right.
your partner's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? You're just now bringing this up. The kid is 5. You know what I mean? So
Right. Exactly.
I've been doing this for 5 years. You mean to tell me it's been wrong the whole time? You have to show a
Right.
little bit of
Right. That's
grace,
what a lot of
because
them that like comment in. I'm like, have you had this conversation with him, or like, is this the first time y'all talked about it? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I think if you learn how to communicate in an effective way to where you feel heard and your partner can actually listen to you, then you can get across like your issues. And then if it doesn't work out, that's a different story. Then
Yeah. Yeah, then I don't know. Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
like one thing that I will say that I like feel good about with like my relationship is I know that Mark and I can tell him whatever and he doesn't ever like invalidate my feelings. He doesn't ever like he listens, he understands, and he like helps me out however I need. Like we always have, and it's not like a screaming match, like it's just like a calm conversation of how I'm feeling and what I need from him. That's the other thing, like being clear, because men, they're a little slow sometimes. We love you, but you're a little slow. Okay. So you literally have to like clearly communicate it, like break it down. Like, this is what I need from you. Like, you can't be mad because he didn't do the dishes. He doesn't know that you want the dishes done. So you need to be like, hey, can you do the dishes for me? Or can you unload the dishwasher so I can load it? Like, communicating exactly and clearly what you need from him. And then You know what I mean? Not just expecting him to like read your mind and know what you need,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And I think without being so specific on like for me, I ain't trying to tell you what you need to do. However, you know that the moment this house starts to get messy is when I start to lose my shit. Like that gives me anxiety. It
Right.
makes it work. So you know, if I'm starting to freak out or I'm having a hard time, what's going to help me? Well, I know that the dishes and the sink and the floor like being dirty or whatever, that is what's going to stress you out. So to help alleviate some of your issues, I'm gonna just straighten up the house because that immediately is
Right.
gonna make it better. And that's just without me saying, "Can you do the dishes? Can you mop the floor?" Like I'm having a hard time. How can you,
Right.
be there for your partner and vice versa? So
Yeah.
I think well, I was just thinking about that because having a messy house has been something that like everyone told me when I was pregnant, oh, like get used to it. Your house is gonna be dirty all the time. And I'm just like, whose house? Whose house?
Not my house.
No,
No,
you come
ma'am.
to my house, it's clean. Most of the time, it is 100% clean because my life is out of control. My life is unmanageable. I need y'all to know that, okay? I'm a first time mom. We are struggling. But you know what I can control? My house. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's my outlet. That's how I cope. And that's fine. If other moms don't cope like that, that's cool. But that's just what I'm getting into. That's what we're doing
Right.
here. And it's
Yeah.
a healthy way to cope, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way. Like my house is always, I mean, of course, during the day, Emerson destroys it, but I try as best as I can, like before I go to bed, to straighten up and like clean up, because
Mhm.
in the morning I haven't been great at it, but I know in the morning when I wake up, I feel good walking out to like a clean kitchen and a clean house. That
Fresh
makes me feel
start.
good. That relieves my anxieties. I don't feel so overwhelmed and stressed. And I also think sometimes too, like maybe Emerson feels the same way. Like when she wakes up in the morning and the house is clean, maybe that makes her feel better too, rather than waking up to a disaster. I don't know, but maybe, you know. But I also think there's something else that I wanted to add about. Oh, I had to learn because like I have like a little bit of OCD on like how things go. Like everything has a place and it needs to go in that place. And I found myself that I had to, like when Mark was helping me, not like kind of nitpick what he did, or like if he put something in the
Helicopter
wrong
your
spot,
staring
like
at your husband.
that's it. That's the one. But just like okay, that's where he put it. It's okay. It's away. It's picked up. Like it's fine, because then that I just like get more overwhelmed and like anxious of things. I just need to like learn to just, as long as it's done. It doesn't matter how he did it. He helped me and it's done and I don't have to worry about it until like a couple minutes later, then I'm gonna go back and change it. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think a lot of women actually struggle with that. Again, like you feel so like you're this is what I truly feel like. Women will, and I'm saying women, I'm speaking from my experience, we feel out of control in certain areas of our life. And so we will try to control things that we can control. So if your life is out of control and you see your husband changing the baby the wrong way, what are you going to do? You're going to run in and try to save the day because this is how you try to regain that control back. And not just your husband changing, the baby, but like controlling your partner in general or controlling your child or something like that. What can I do to bring my life back into balance? And if we don't have healthy outlets or healthy coping skills, like it's going to manifest in whatever way we give it space. So if that
Right.
worked and they let us do that, well, we're going to keep doing it because it
Right.
provided something for me and you allowed it to happen. So
Yeah.
I think if you're aware of it, like I'm aware I do that. And I don't think it's that bad, the, cleaning thing, but I don't know. I'm just aware of it because if it's like I can't control the mess or something like that, it can make me super irritable and I have to be aware of that. And I think knowing your boundaries can be
Mhm.
can be really helpful in managing your emotions as far
Yeah.
as being a mom, because once you become a mom, those lines really get blurred and you don't even know what your boundaries are anymore. You really
Yeah.
don't. I just feel like when people always say they lose themselves, I don't really feel like I lost myself in being a mom. I'm definitely a different person, but I feel like my like neat little like box that I fit into is like this big and I'm just not used to it yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a bad
Yeah.
analogy.
No, I felt the same way too. Like I love being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom. Ew, girl. In our yearbook, don't go looking back in our yearbook, but they did a little interview for the yearbook and I said that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom in my high school yearbook. Embarrassing. Okay, everybody else had big dreams, big goals, and I was in there saying,
You said Harvard.
stay-at-home mom. Okay, so like this is literally what I've always wanted, but so I don't ever feel like I've like lost myself. Like I feel like if anything, I've found like realized who I really
You got
am,
the
and I like
dream
myself.
job.
Yeah. Okay. But it is true, like also like people get from their dream job, they get their vacations, they get their breaks, they get their weekends off. So as my dream job being a stay-at-home mom, I also need my little vacation, my little time off, and that's okay. We love that.
Mhm. I mean, that's how we manage our lives. And in those, you have a great life, but that doesn't mean you don't need a break. Like you can
Right.
love your job and also need a little bit of space. And
Yeah.
I think, like I said, combating any mental health issues that you have with postpartum is really tackling the problem and not the symptoms. So, like, what are the symptoms of my postpartum anxiety? Well, I'm anxious all the time. I'm irritable. I don't want to go anywhere. Like, those are some of the things that we struggle with. And yeah, I could go to my doctor and get on medication. Like, I see that so common in mom groups. Something that really irks me is they'll be like, the moms will explain their symptoms and they'll be like, sounds like postpartum anxiety or sounds like postpartum depression. Go to therapy and get on medication. Like, imagine going to a support group asking for help and they're like, go to therapy.
Right.
Yes, I know that. Baby girl, I know I need
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Way before I had this baby, I needed therapy.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, I feel like it's like a smack in the face. It's like, why don't
Right.
you just share some things that you do to get through the day? Something that I do to get through the day is I focus on today. I'm not thinking about what I need to do tomorrow or what I need to do tomorrow, how I was better yesterday.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try to provide real life advice for what I did to get through today. Like I said, I'm not out here
Right.
bragging. I'm not like thriving. I'm not doing all that, but I am surviving. I do feel like I have energy to get up most days, energy to get up and be a productive member for the day. So I'm not going to just be like, go to therapy. Everybody can benefit from therapy. That's just not,
Right.
it's just
Right.
like, it really is just like a sideways comment for moms, or get on medication. Like,
Right.
yeah, that will help for a little bit, but it's not long-term manageable. It really isn't. So like, I don't have,
And I
like I
feel like
said,
that's why it's so important to have like the self-awareness to kind of like see that you're falling into maybe like a depression or just not feeling yourself. No matter what it is, I feel like it's important to have that self-awareness to say, okay, I'm not feeling myself. I need to do something now before it gets too bad to where they're going to want to put me on medication. And if you get put on medication, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if
Mhm.
that is your noticing like, okay, I'm starting not to be myself and you know that you need to be put on medication, go for it. But it's just the fact of like catching it before you get kind of like too far gone kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like know what's going on, listen to your body, know that you need to do something. For me, like I said, I knew that I wasn't feeling myself. I knew that I needed to like go out and treat myself and get my nails done, get my toes done. Like I knew that that's what I needed to make myself feel better. So whatever it is, do it, but do it as soon as you start to feel down. Don't wait. Don't let the mom guilt get you, because she will. She'll try to creep up on you, but just do it.
I think And like that's an easy thing to start. Like getting your nails on, like that ain't solving all the problems. It's just solving the problem right
Right.
now. It's a fast solution to a problem that we're just battling pretty much every day. And there's many other things that you can do similar to that. Like, where yours is going to get your nails done. Sometimes I just go for a walk. And I know we all joke about going for walks for our mental health, but that should be working.
Yeah, put
Like
your
I'm
feet in the
coming back
grass.
and like, I don't even know why I was mad. Like just
Yeah.
a little walk, a little walkie walk. I don't know.
Right.
That does it for me
Yeah.
sometimes. And it's just
Another
like
thing
you
I
said,
wanted to
noticing it.
Right. Another thing I wanted to also say is it's like I had Emerson in the spring, summertime. So I was outside getting the fresh air, getting the sunlight. I was like, okay. But then Tatum was November, so it was winter. So we've been inside. And I also feel like that's definitely played like a big role on why I'm kind of feeling that way, because we can't go outside. It's too damn cold. We can't get the sunshine, at least where I'm at. You can't get the sunshine. And so you're just stuck inside. So I feel like that also played like maybe a role in like why I started to feel the way that I did, because I'm stuck inside with 2 kids all day. And around here, there's not a lot of things to like go and do outside of the house.
I think you're right. There's a couple of factors that contributed to your experience with, having another baby when you already have one. And, that seasonal depression that shit's real. I remember when we lived in the first year we moved to Florida, I felt that like wave of depression, like, oh, it's real. Like I really feel it because it's not cold outside, but my body was so used to it that I just like felt it kind of come over me. And I was self-aware enough to be able to like work through it, but it was just crazy, the feeling. So I definitely can't imagine having a baby around that time when you're already like struggling, because the emotions are off the chain right after you have a baby, like off the chain. I was exhausted from the roller coaster. Like I went off this ride. And it's like you're aware of it, but you can't stop it. Like, no, seriously, like I can't do this anymore. And I always say when I get frustrated with Van, I'm like, it's not him, it's me. Like I'm the problem here.
Yeah.
He's just out here living. Like he's just crying, he out here pooping feet. It's me. I'm the problem. So I got to go. Like I'm aware of that. That don't mean I can fix it all the time. I'm just like, I'm just saying I'm aware of it. So take with that what you will.
Another thing that I also wonder too is like, I know with my mom, she didn't have like postpartum depression or anything like that with my oldest brother, but her second, my middle brother, she did experience that with. And then here I am, like I didn't have it with my first, but I am kind of experiencing it with my second. So I always like wonder if that has something to do with it. Maybe, I don't know, but it was just, and she didn't have it with me, so maybe I'll get lucky and the third I'll be good to go. We gonna plan for a summer baby so then I can be outside. We thinking ahead, okay? We gonna avoid this, okay?
Do not have baby in winter.
Got it. Get pregnant on this day.
Okay, first of all, I'm type A. I really do that shit. So
me too. I have to get pregnant in November to have a summer baby. So
well, at least you know.
That's like it's so funny with Emerson and Tate. Like I planned to have both of them. I got pregnant 10 months postpartum, and like I wanted to have a baby. I did it to myself. I knew what I was doing, but I planned, like I knew I wanted to, like Emerson was born in May, and I knew I wanted to have a baby at the end of the year. So like I knew when I needed to get pregnant, because I planned that shit. I really do be planning my baby's birthdays, and I'm not sorry.
Just the thought of getting pregnant, I'm like, like literally, no. That's because I'm in the thick of it. These mom groups, they'll be like, help, baby's 3 months, just found out I'm pregnant. I'll be like, I gotta log off because I don't even want to finish the post, because if I do, it could possibly happen to me, and I'm already like sick. Like I can't.
I tell that to her all the time. I'm like, the amount of women that get pregnant like 2 or 3 months postpartum. You lucky
You
if
ain't
you're even
learn?
gonna do anything. Okay, you lucky if you're gonna touch me 2 or 3 months
Tell me you
apart.
had the epidural without telling me you had an epidural. You ain't feel that
Yeah,
baby
right.
come out because
Right.
no,
Right.
I'm not doing
The
all
things
that.
I felt down there, nothing's coming close to it for a while.
No. I think now that we're talking about it, like I feel like another thing that contributes to a lot of women's postpartum depression is their actual labor and delivery experience.
Yeah.
Like again, personally, I didn't experience that, but literally some of these women are like traumatized from their experience.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and that was you, chime in because I just feel like you're not alone. And I feel like so many people have experienced that and it really affected them postpartum. And something else I wanted to bring up because I figure we'll come to a close here in a few minutes is there's a lot of things that are factors in your life that you can't really control, but I feel like they do make you more like they make you more at risk of having postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. And I just feel like you should be aware of them going into pregnancy because pregnancy is very hard and labor and delivery because if you, like we've been saying, if you are aware of it, you can possibly make it better or do things to not, not suffer as much. So for me personally, like having a couple like traumatic deaths in my life, obviously that still affects me like so much. So I feel like the postpartum anxiety that I feel with Van is all death related. And it's just like the fear of traumatically losing him because I love him so much and the people and the animal that I lost, I love them so much that it just was like soul crushing and it was traumatic in a way that it happened out of nowhere. It wasn't like something that you see coming. And I know that one death it doesn't matter if you know it's happening or you don't. They're both traumatic, but there's just something about that shell shock of like literally you just wake up and your whole life's changed. And I'm just scared to death of experience that. And so I feel like my body, it's a trauma response. Like I feel like my body is constantly preparing me to experience that death. So I'm like constantly like the plane or the car ride or going over a bridge. Like my brain is like, okay, this is the worst thing that could happen. So you got to be prepared for it. And
Right.
I read something and it's like your brain is wired to help you survive, like get you through life. It ain't gonna make it easy and it's not gonna help you and whatever, making your life easy and not suffering. It's gonna make you survive. So that it makes sense when I go over a bridge and I'm thinking about what I would do if the bridge broke and now I gotta have the windows crack, how I gotta like silly stuff like
Right.
that. It's my body and my brain are doing that to help me. And it's
Right.
just my experiences that are kind of creeping into my motherhood experience. So, personally, when we're talking about those external factors, you should definitely be aware of what you've like what are your patterns? Like, you know what I mean? What have you already experienced? What are you going through? And how can this affect you? And I do think birth trauma has a just consider it has a plays a big role, a big part in your postpartum period. And I didn't suffer like a traumatic birth. I don't think you did either, did you? So
No.
we can't really speak to that. So if you did, okay, here we go. She said she had a home birth at her midwife's house, 36-hour labor, and had to go to the ER for emergency C-section. Baby had meconium, aspiration, so he's in NICU 9 days. Like that is a traumatic experience that everyone says, oh, it's so natural. It's gonna, you're waiting for this, and of course you're happy of your baby now, but it's just like that experience. You probably weren't prepared for that. No one's prepared for that, and it kind of, like I said earlier, like almost shell shocks you. Like you're just constantly waiting for that other shoe to drop, and going through something like this I feel like can really affect you. Like afterwards, it's just the lingering, like, what did I just go through? Like what the F? And then next thing you know, 9 days go by or 10 days go by and your brain has been operating at this high level of stress and anxiety. And now you have to try to get out of it. Now you're home now. Now you have to try to now you got to ease into parenthood, or that, what they call honeymoon stage of that postpartum period. Like, how do you do that? Is that even possible?
I know for me too, like my birth wasn't traumatic, but even just like the point of leaving the hospital and like being like, oh damn, like now it's my turn to take care of this baby. Like nobody's coming in and checking its temperature every so often. Nobody's coming in to check its heart rate. Like, so how am I going to know? Like, how am I going to know if they have a temperature? How am I going to know if their heart rate's okay? How am I going to know if they're breathing? Because I had somebody coming in to check that for me for 3 days in the hospital, so that's kind of, I can see where moms kind of struggle with those anxieties and all that too.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I feel like today, I definitely can laugh. I can crack a little jokey joke about my struggles as far as postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, because I know I'm not alone. And honestly, that's how I cope too. So being able to make light of a situation that's actually really hard is just easier for me. I feel like you could probably relate to that.
Yeah.
So, having like-minded people like you and a couple other mom friends that I have, like we can just get through it together with like these little bit of things and like having these conversations, because I could talk all day to my husband about it and he's just not going to get it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that space that he, created, or just like just letting me vent and cry. But I just think conversations like this are necessary. So I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I agree to have those mom friends that like get it. All moms understand somewhat of what you're going through. And I think it's good to have them that you can like talk to you, because sometimes they do give good advice on like how they cope with things or how they're dealing with something, and it kind of just like, or just to let you know, like, oh yeah, I feel that same way. I've had those same thoughts before, or whatever it is. It's just kind of like comforting to know I'm not crazy. This is normal, and we gonna get through it.
Mm-hmm. Or like just validation. Like I posted on a mom group about I'm trying to stretch his wake windows, and it's like he's so cranky, but he's fine just chilling with the pacifier. But something in me, I'm like, I can't just let him sit there with a pacifier. Like, I just needed a mom that had other kids. It's like, no, it's like literally okay. Like, you can like let him sit there for 10 minutes with the pacifier. Yeah. I'm like, damn.
I say
that all right, you said I could, so I can. So if something goes wrong, I'm gonna just blame her.
Yeah, you're gonna be back on this group, letting them know, don't trust this bitch in here. No, but I see the same thing with like having your second. Like, I think back to when I had Emerson, and I was like now with Tatum, I'm like, I was doing the most with Emerson. Like Tatum, I'd be putting her on that floor, and she'd be laying on that floor having a good old time, chilling.
That's what Van does.
Not crying, and I like feel bad. I'm like, if that was Emerson, like, no, I can't just let her chill there in my bed. Tatum will like wake up and just lay there forever. Like I'd like be looking in, and I'm like, oh, you're awake? I didn't even know that. Emerson, I felt bad for just leaving her in there, but like, it's okay.
That's okay. That normal mom like stress, anxiety issues that, like I said, are normal. It's like initiation. Like you got to go through it. You got to do it. And we know what it is. So creating that space and saying that's normal. You're good. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's important, but make sure you guys follow Izzy's channel. I left the link in my description. She is still new to YouTube, but she is making some videos, so check them out, all mom stuff related. And also check out some of my videos. I did vlog my home birth, so I have pictures and videos. You should check that out if you haven't already, since we were on the topic of labor and delivery. And check out that video, first time mom mistakes that everyone makes, because social isolation is seriously, I feel like it's like a silent killer. And I feel like a lot of moms do that without noticing, especially first time moms, because we just get so busy. It's a new routine. We're not used to it. And I think if people watch this video, they'll make more of an effort to, oh, I see like someone's trying to hang out with me, and make that effort. Even if you don't feel like it, I feel like that's really important. And I'll invite 10 people to hang out, and literally 3 of them will get back to me. So it really needs to be more like normalized. And I don't know, we just need to meet each other in the middle. So that's my experience. But thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, part 2.
Stay tuned.